down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I wake.
Welcome to Dinner with the Coaches. I am your host, Nadira Lewis. I have with me my amazing co-host over here, Thomas T. the Taylor Third.
Good evening. Let's go with that energy. Bring that energy up.
Yes.
Bring that energy up. Let's go.
Yes. Yeah. I think if I go any higher, Thomas, I'm going to be on top of my computer desk.
We on top of that Empire State Building, huh? New York State of Mind, huh?
Yes. We are excited that you guys have joined us here today, this Sunday evening, as many of you normally do every Sunday evening. We have an amazing show for you tonight. But before we do, we're going to go ahead and play a video real quick. But for those of you that are watching us via YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button so that you can be notified every time we upload a new video. If you are watching us via Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, or any other platform, make sure you click like and share if you are blessed by the content that you have been receiving this far. So we're going to play this video, and after that, we'll be here with our amazing guest, Darneece Barber. We'll be right back after this.
Long before the beginning of all other beginnings, God is. In a burst of creative activity, God creates the world and everything in it. Humans are designed to live inside of this unique relationship, but they choose otherwise. The law of God is broken, and the heart of God is pierced. But the story isn't over. In the fullness of time, God gives his Son, born of a woman, born under the law. Jesus comes to seek and save those who are lost, wounded for our transgressions, crushed for our iniquities. On the cross, God is in Christ, reconciling the world to himself. And with a loud cry, Jesus breathes his last. But the story isn't over. On the morning of the third day, the power of the living God erupts, breaking through death with the moment that will define all other moments. Perched at the edge of heaven, the angels stand in awe as one of their own rolls away the stone that's guarding the body of Jesus. As if anything can guard Jesus. He walks out of the tomb alive. He is victorious. He is conquering death and rendering the grave unnecessary. He is living and moving and breathing as only the risen Son of God can. But the story isn't over. We are, every one of us, searching and hoping and longing for life. It's a desire that's been deposited into our souls by the very same God who spoke it all into existence. And it's this exact life that the resurrection of Jesus invites us into. So bring your hopes, your regrets, your successes and your failures. Bring your doubts, your joys, your fears and your dreams. Be resolute and unwilling to settle for anything less than the abundant life of the risen King. Because truly, if the story isn't over, then what happens next might just change everything.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Now that's energy.
I'm telling you, I never get tired of watching that video. That video just stirs up something on the inside of me. I don't know about you guys, but
Yeah.
that video is an amazing video. Well, welcome back to Dinner with the Coaches, and we are back here with our amazing guest, Thomas. As we wait, do you want to go ahead and introduce our amazing guest today?
Yeah, of course. Can you hear me?
I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
Good. Yep. I got you. Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening. Welcome once again to Dinner with the Coaches. It's our honor, it's our pleasure just to be here on Sunday evenings to give you guys a little bit of information and inspiration at the same time. Well, tonight we're going to discuss something that's a really, really good topic, and we're going to talk about actually finances, right? Financial literacy. We're going to talk about business, credit, business, finances, things of that nature. We have a special guest, Miss Darneece Barber, and she's very, very, well-versed in that area. So it's going to be a very interesting evening because those of you that are listening who have businesses or aspire to have businesses, financial literacy, business credit, those things are very vital to the sustainability of your actual business. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and bring on Miss Darneece Barber.
Woo!
Hey, how are you? How you doing?
Oh, great.
Marvelous.
Good.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me. Can you hear me good?
Yep.
Good.
We got you. Good.
Well, first and foremost, thank you for having me this evening.
Good deal. You are more than welcome. And our topic for tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is the importance of business credit and financial literacy, right? So we're going to kind of dive into that a little bit just so, we really can kind of set the stage on how important those things are. So, D, as we call you, you want to go ahead and kind of break us in? Bring yourself up a little bit. Can you come up a little higher so people can see you?
How's that?
I'll bring the camera down a little bit.
How's that?
Okay.
That's good.
Right. And if you can actually turn your camera sideways, it'll actually cover the entire screen. Yeah.
Gotcha.
It'll change it to landscaping. Yes.
Yeah. All right, I got you. Hold on.
Cool.
Is that a little better?
Yep. Yeah, that's good.
A little better.
Yeah.
Okay.
We good.
Good. Okay. So let me tell you a little backstory first about myself. How I got into credit, in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, as we all come up, we're young and dumb, and we don't really know about finances growing up, especially us as African Americans. So credit wasn't really a thing for me back then, and I really didn't know what credit was until you try to apply for something and you get denied. So so I think it was back in 2018, and I was making money, good money. I was working 2 full-time jobs, making $34 each, so I'm making $100,000 something a year. But when I go apply for an apartment, I get denied. And of course, I can't, money doesn't do anything at that point. You can have all the money in the world, but if you apply for an apartment or something, that's it. So with that being said, I was like, well, I need to look into my credit. So, with me still not knowing anything, I took a look at it, but I didn't know what I was getting into. I'm like, this is foreign language to me. So I had to put the apartment in my best friend's name. And, so fast forward about 2 years later in 2019, right before Corona hit, a friend of mine, she was telling me that she was in a company called FES, and it's like a credit repair company. So it was like $100 to get started and, like $99 a month. So I said, cool, I need that. So I went ahead and did that. And after that, my credit just wasn't changing fast enough for me. So it was like months and months, and it still wasn't changing. So I started getting well versed in it myself. I started studying it. I joined a mentorship, and that's it. So once from there, I started, teaching other people, and taking clients on myself how to, leverage credit. But first and foremost, a lot of people don't even know what good and bad credit is. They look at a credit report and they don't know what they're looking at, like I did back in the day. So just to start, anywhere from 300 to 629 is considered bad credit. Okay, and then from 630 on up to 689 is fair. 690 to 719 is good credit. Sorry about the ambulance in the back. Then 720 to 850 is excellent credit.
Yeah. So say those numbers again. Say those numbers again a little slower.
So 300 to 620 is considered bad credit. 630 to 680 is fair credit. 690 to 719 is good credit, and from 719 to 850 is excellent credit. Okay. So, and as far as, fair credit, you can still get things done. Like, for instance, if you want to do a first-time home buyer's loan, all you need is a 580 to qualify. But they don't tell you that the interest rates are going to be through the roof. Although you'll get approved for a loan, but your interest rate is going to be skyrocketed. So it's still not acceptable. But of course, they don't tell us that either. They just throw us in the first-time home buyers program just because we have a qualifying score, and don't educate us on, interest rate and everything like that. So it's very important that you get well educated on your own, to start combating with these mortgage people and the banks and everything else. But with that being said, that's not the only thing that makes up a credit report is the score. You have certain factors within that credit report that make up that score, and payment history being the number one. And that's 35% of your credit. So if you're not paying your bills on time, your credit cards on time, that is a major factor. One late payment can take you down 150 points. You know what I'm saying? So even if you're a couple of days late, but after that 31 days, that's it. It's 150 points. So and so next is the credit card usage. The credit card usage is 30% of your credit makeup. Okay, so which means your debt to credit card ratio. So the more credit cards you have open per se, the more your debt to income ratio opens up, your debt pool opens up. So people think that it's bad to have multiple credit cards open, but it's not really a bad thing. That can actually help your score and help your score boost and keep it maintained. The next thing you need to have, as far as the data points, is the length of time you had your credit open, as far as how long you had your mortgage loan open, or credit cards, or store credit cards, or things like that. So you want to have a good mix of credit, and that's 10% of your credit. Also, derogatory collections. You want to make sure that is at 0. You don't want to have any derogatory marks on your credit, which is collection accounts. And so you just want to make sure those are intact. So your payment history should be at 100%. Your credit card usage should be at 30%. Your credit mix and on down should be, the rest is like 10 to 15%. So, and inquiries play a factor as well. You shouldn't have more than 2 inquiries on your credit report, or, more than 2 inquiries on your credit report, that can bring it down. Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Each inquiry, like more than 3 inquiries, it brings it down 2 to 5 points. Each inquiry.
Now, are you referring to personal or business?
Personal. This is all personal.
Okay.
This is all personal credit. Yeah.
Okay.
Because without personal credit, actually, you won't be able to get any business credit starting out. You have to have a good personal credit, because sometimes they look at your personal credit when you go apply for a business loan. So
now what about this guy? I seen this guy on TikTok. He's really big, and he's always promoting business credit without personal credit. What do you have to say regarding that? Because he's got lists of companies and all kinds of connections, where he's like, list of companies, they play that song.
Yeah.
List of companies that you can get business credit with without your personal credit. Example, Sam's Club. And then he starts listing all these companies that give you business credit that don't really connect your personal. So you're saying that that's incorrect?
That is doable. So so there's something when you dive into business credit, there's something called net 30 accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So a net 30 account is basically your starter. Maybe like if you get a Uline,
like a
Sam's Club, like you
Uline.
mentioned, yeah, Staples, things like that. But those are although it's business credit, those are still store credit cards. So no, you're not going to need a PG, which is personal guarantee, which is your personal credit for those. But when you get into business loans, like to get a loan, they look at your personal credit if you're not established first. Once you get established in business credit, you won't need a personal guarantee to apply for a loan or business credit. So he's not incorrect, but I mean, to tell people that you don't need to have your personal credit together is, I wouldn't recommend that. Like, you know, that is false, because those stores still can look at your personal credit if they want to. Do they all the time? No. But they can sometimes. Depends on how your business is structured, and if it's structured properly, they will take a look at your personal credit. If they see something in your business credit that's not structured properly, they'll take a look at your personal credit to see, okay, let me see if we trust this person. So it's not all false, but it's not. I don't tell people to not have your credit together. You know, just have it together, so you don't have to worry about any of that on the back end of business credit. You know, so but to each his own. I mean, there's different ways around different things. You know, so of course, you know, there's a right way, there's a wrong way, and there's a, you know, so but
around the way.
Yeah, you're right, and around the way. So you know, I try to tell people the correct way, you know, so they know. But for instance, a lot of people don't know. Do you guys know when you should pay your credit card bills? If you have any credit cards? A lot of people think
might be like a few days, like a few days before, right?
Right. You should pay your credit card on the statement date, not the due date. So it's a difference. So if you have credit cards, you want to call your credit bureau and ask them, when is your statement date? Because that's important. You want to pay it down. So you want to pay at least half or a little more on your statement date, and then the rest on the due date. And the reason why that's important is because on your statement date is usually when the credit card companies report that balance to your credit card bureau. So
say that again, D. You're going kind of fast. Say that again. It's for the people in the back. Say that for the people in the back.
The statement date is different from the due date. All right. So you want to make sure that you call your credit card company and ask them what your statement date is, because the statement date, whatever that balance is on the statement date, is the balance that they're going to report to the credit bureaus. So if you have $1,000 balance and you haven't paid it yet because it's not due yet, you understand what I'm saying? So they're going to report that $1,000 to the credit bureaus. So now your debt to income ratio is going to be higher because it's your bill's $1,000. In actuality, it's not even due yet. You haven't even paid it down. So what you want to do is pay half of it or more on the statement date, and then the rest on the due date. So that's the key, and that will boost your score up tremendously as well if you do it like that. That's another trick of the trade.
Yeah, that's a pretty good hack right there. That's a pretty good hack.
That's another thing they don't tell you. You know, so the statement date. Yeah, so credit repair, and I know it's a big thing right now. Everybody's into credit repair, and you know, DIY, and you know, everybody wants to be a credit card specialist or a credit repair agent and stuff like that. But it is something that you can, you know, do on your own. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with going to someone to fix your credit if you don't have the time to sit down and study everything, because it is a tedious task. I mean, it's a lot to know, and the laws and the letters to send out, and you know what to dispute, what not to dispute, when to dispute it, when not to dispute it. So you know how to send the letters, a certain way you have to send the letters off. So you know I recommend, if your credit is not together, I recommend you either take the time out to study for yourself and get it fixed, or work with a credit repair agent that you know and trust, or get to know and trust, and get your credit fixed. Because like I said, nowadays cash is obsolete pretty much. Everything is moving towards either cryptocurrency, digital, credit. That's it. Cash, I believe, is going to be obsolete coming, moving forward. And even if you are a woman or a man of the cloth, it even says that in the Bible that that we are going to move towards digital currency. Like digital currency is going to be the way of the future. Crypto is going to be the way of the future. So cash is going to be obsolete pretty soon. So I behoove you to get your credit together. Like if it's not together now, get it together. As fast as you can, whether it's yourself or by somebody else. So because once you have your credit together, there's so many opportunities to make money or to leverage your credit into the lifestyle that you want to live. And a lot of people just use good credit as a status thing. Oh, I got good credit. Okay, but now what? What do you know what to do with that credit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not just a bragging right. It's it's something that you can utilize that the rich people have been utilizing for years. And everybody's not a millionaire, but they get to travel where they want to and live the way they want to live. And do you think that's all cash? Nah, it's credit, and they know how to leverage it, they know how to use it to their advantage. So once you have a good credit, there are certain cards that you get for the lifestyle that you want to live. Like there's certain, for instance, the Amex Platinum card. If you're a traveler, that's good for people who want to travel because it gives you points towards traveling. Matter of fact, the Amex Platinum card, it gets you global entry, it gets you clear, it gets you through. Yeah, you also get to go in the Amex Lounge at any airport that has Amex Lounge and eat and drink for free just by having the Amex Platinum card.
Wow.
You can travel for free, get hotels for free through the Amex Platinum card just by using your card every day and getting points. People don't know the power of points. You know what I mean? So if you have good credit, stop using your debit card. Throw that away. Use your credit card for everything. Because
that's a good point.
Even for bills, because when you pay bills, you're gonna pay it anyway. So swipe your credit card and use that money that you're going to use and put it and pay your credit card off just to get the points. So those points can go towards either traveling. They even have if you like to dine, they even have cards geared towards dining. You know what I mean? For the dining crew, or if you want to if you are a person that likes cashback rewards, there's a card for that. So every time you swipe, you're getting 5% back, and you can turn those points into cash and pay your bills with the rewards. So there's actually people that use credit cards they swipe their card to pay groceries or to do whatever, and then they use the points that they get to turn it into cash and pay their bills. So there's people that every month don't come out of pocket for everyday household bills like electric and gas and water because they're accumulating so many points by swiping your credit card every day on stuff that you're going to buy anyway and gathering those points. So, it's a lot to do and a lot to learn with credit cards. And there's another method that a lot of people don't know about, and it's called manufacturer spending. Have you all heard of that before?
No, not at all. Talk to us about that.
Okay, so manufacturer spending is basically buying. So say you go to Costco, for instance, okay? You have a $15,000 credit card. You go to Costco, you buy 2 laptops and a TV per se, right? Those 2 laptops and a TV equal out to maybe $7,000, $8,000 per se. All right, you purchase it. Hey, I don't really think I want this anymore. You take it back to Costco, and what they do is you can return the money on a debit card or get cash back. And once you get that cash back, you can smack it right back on your credit card, but you just accumulated all those points by spending $7,000. And now those points can go towards whatever you wanted to go towards, because they don't take the points back for a return.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you spend and you return it, they don't take the points back. They give you the cash back, and you can either put it on your debit card or take the cash and then pay off your credit card, which also helps you, with your credit, because it looks like you're spending and paying. You're spending money and you're paying your credit card right back off, and then you're getting all of those reward points from your credit card to utilize for whatever you want to use it for. You can turn it into cash, take the cash and pay your bills, or you can turn it into traveling points or whatever you want to do with the points. $7,000 is a lot of points.
Yeah, that's a game right there.
Really?
Yeah. And that's called manufacturing spending. It's not illegal. So you guys can, a lot of people are like, is that illegal?
Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Wow.
You say manufacturer, they're like antennas go up.
I thought she meant like, you just go and just make up, manufacture, I'm like, make up something like
that's game. Hey, AD, I want to ask you a question though regarding the credit repair agencies. I know at one point, sometimes they were looked at as negative. Like if you had a credit repair agency on your credit per se, and then the credit bureaus kind of ding you for that. Like, what's your experience with that?
No. So the only thing that they do nowadays is they'll send out a letter saying, hey, we noticed that a third party was, reporting on your behalf. Which is kind of like, I don't know if they frown upon it, but it has nothing to do, they don't put it on your credit or nothing like that. They can't, it's not a debt. It's not, so they may frown upon it because you're not doing it yourself, but credit repair companies are not illegal. There are, it's not an illegal, of course it's not an illegal thing, but there are laws that you have to abide by, but it's not an illegal thing. But, of course the credit card companies or the credit bureaus, they frown upon credit card agencies because, in essence, they're combating, what they're trying to do. So, it's not illegal though, not at all. So, but as far as, I know there's like Lexington Law and all those other credit repair agencies, and I personally, I don't recommend those big name credit card companies because what they do is they take forever to fix your credit just so they can.
The credit repair. Monthly. The credit repair. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recommend it because they take forever to fix your credit because you're paying monthly. So they're gonna try to drag it out as long as they can because you're paying $100 a month. So they're gonna send one dispute a month. If you have 6 collections on your account, they're gonna send one every month, and but you can send up to 5 on one dispute letter. I mean, you can send how many you want, but I recommend only 5. So the credit bureaus won't ding us and say, hey, nope, or return the letter and say they're not gonna dispute it. But I only recommend using 5 per time that you send the letters in. But
now you said 5. Are you talking about 5? Are you talking about 5 creditors or 5 letters per creditor? 5
disputes. So, like for instance, if you have 6 collections on your account or 7, I would recommend only sending 5 of those the first round, and then the second round you can send the other 2. I don't recommend putting all of the collections on one letter. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Got you. Okay.
So because every credit bureau gets a letter, a 601 letter stating that, hey, whatever the action is that, whatever is going on with that person's credit, hey, this wasn't my account, or hey, there's an error, whatever the case may be. You should only put up to 5 of those on each letter when you send them out to the bureaus. Me personally, but there's no cap on how many you can put on there. I just personally don't like to put more than 5, because it has come back before saying that we're not even going to mess with any of these because you have this is too many that you're trying to dispute at one time. So
wow.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot. That's why I say it's good to get someone that knows what they're doing and has been, studying this or is well versed in it, because it can get a little tricky once you start playing with the credit bureaus. And another thing that the big credit bureaus don't do, or the credit repair agencies don't do, is so there's a such thing as secondary credit bureaus. Everyone is used to Experian, TransUnion, Equifax.
Yeah.
But there's actually a lot more secondary credit bureaus.
Really?
And what those are, it's like public records. So they actually have all of your information that the credit bureaus reach out to verify. So for instance, if I send a collection in with a bank account for Thomas and say, hey, Thomas never had Navy Federal account, they'll reach out to Check Systems or LexisNexis, which is the Second Bureau Credit Agency, and say, hey, did Thomas ever have a Navy Federal account? And then LexisNexis will send it back and say, yes, this is verifiable, because that all your public information goes to these secondary credit bureaus. So what you do is, before you send any letters out, before you dispute anything, you want to freeze all of those secondary credit bureaus. So when the actual credit bureaus go to verify that information, it's non-verifiable because those accounts are frozen, and legally they can't give any public information out because you froze those accounts on behalf of your name. So
That's smart.
They can't let any of it out.
Yeah, that's smart.
So how many of those secondary, do you have to do that on every secondary or just a few of them?
There's a few main secondaries that I use. If you want to write them down.
It's on the recording, so you can go ahead and say them.
LexisNexis, SageStream, CoreLogic, and Innovis are the 4 main secondary credit bureaus that they have the most information, like everything from apartment rentals, from banks, banks that you've gotten, from where you lived, their previous addresses, your employers, everything that you do in this life is all, it goes somewhere, right? It's all public information. Somebody has to keep that information. So the credit bureau.
This is good.
Yeah, man. We all get an education here. I hope everybody's enjoying this.
Yeah. The credit bureaus can't reach out to Navy Federal on themselves and say, hey, it's almost like your employer reaching out to your doctor and saying, hey, is this doctor no real? They can't. They have laws. They just have to take the note and leave it as is. Same thing. It's like the credit bureaus cannot actually call Navy Federal and say, hey, did Thomas ever have an account with you guys? They can't do that. They have to rely on public information to verify.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that why they have to have? Is that why they have to have like specific letters for specific things? And is that because I noticed that sometimes they may have to go in more than one time and with that same dispute, but use I guess different letters. That where that comes in?
That's what I come in, because what they don't do is they don't take that step to freeze the secondary accounts. So all the information is always verifiable, and that's why it comes back if you ever got a letter from your dispute, it says verified. And it says verified because they verified it with the secondary credit bureaus.
Interesting.
Yeah. There's a lot more than those 4, but those are the 4 main ones that they use. You know what I mean? It'll be kind of tedious to go freeze all of them, but those are the 4 main. Those are the 4 main ones that the public information, goes to. Like even LexisNexis has all of your even like crash reports and like stuff like that, like all of your DMV information and everything, like your insurance information and insurance companies and stuff like that. So
interesting.
Wow. Well, hey, you guys, we're gonna take a quick break. As you can see, D has a lot of information, boy. I hope everybody is enjoying this and taking copious notes. And when we come back, we kind of turn and go a little bit deeper and talk about something that's dear to your heart, is financial literacy, especially in the African-American community, right? And then you could touch on, I know you have some ebooks out there, like you have some tools, you have some materials that people can access on their own to really get a level of understanding of how important this is. So we're going to go to a little break. We're going to come back and we're going to finish up the next half. All right. Woo! I hope you guys enjoy this. Let's go.
Do you need a coach? Do you need assistance with clarity, strategy, and mindset along with execution? You can go ahead and reach out to Thomas and I at the @ Dinner with the Coaches on Facebook, and we'll love to be able to help you. All right, and we are back here with Dinner with the Coaches with our amazing guest, Darneece Barber. And she's been, if you missed the first half, oh my gosh, you got to go back and watch the replay. She has given us some juicy information on business credit, what things to do and not to do. So now we're in part 2 in our last segment where Thomas is going to reintroduce our guest, and we're going to go, as Thomas said.
Yeah, we're going to go a little bit deeper, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you guys are enjoying this, because we're talking about something that, it's almost taboo, unfortunately, in certain communities, right? Like these type of topics, a lot of, people don't really talk about because it involves, things that could be personal, so, but in this forum, we try to educate, those that are listening to the point where you can utilize the information and then move, right? We talk about knowledge, we talk about power, they also talk about applied knowledge, right? So the things that we're teaching here, when you start to apply it, you can see the benefits from yourself, right? So, Darneece, we want to talk about, literacy. Like, I know that's big with you because, you see a real disparity in certain communities where the financial literacy is not really, being available, right? Readily available with, based upon different programs, like, they have the STEM program for certain, type of students to help them in certain areas, right? And I know, I do know some people out there who try to do some things on the financial side to get that application in schools as well, because they should be teaching that at a lower and a younger age as well. So when they get, a little bit older in the game, they're not behind. So what's your experience on that financial literacy piece?
So, I mean, like I was saying earlier, it's kind of non-existent, especially in our community. Really, especially in the inner city schools and amongst African Americans, only certain neighborhoods teach their children financial literacy in school. So, my partner and I were also going to write a children's curriculum on financial literacy. Yeah, and just try to get it into inner city schools so, we have the opportunity to learn exactly what other people or other children are learning in their neighborhoods and their schools. Because unfortunately, I mean, it's like a generational curse. It's like our parents growing up, I know, my parents didn't know anything about, credit cards and credit and stuff like that. The only thing, my parents told me was, your credit, keep your credit good. It's not like, but how and why, it's not enough information. But that's because they didn't have that information awarded to them. So it's kind of like generation
and
after
it wasn't a demand for credit like it is now.
Exactly.
Back then, everything was cash generation. This generation, there's a more demand for credit.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, definitely that too. So with it being higher demand, I feel like it should definitely be taught in schools years ago, but it hasn't been. So now, we have young adults getting out of college and starting out with poor credit, and they're just starting out at a deficit when other children get out of school and they're already at a 750 or, because their parents have been building them up since they've been in school, and they've opened LLCs in their children's names and open college funds and open IRAs and, open credit cards and tell them how to use them correctly while they're in college, while they're in school. So when they get out, they're like at an advantage where they can almost, they can go on their own and buy a house and, they have excellent credit. When on the other end, in our community, we're starting from scratch, and when we graduate from college, we don't know which way to go. It's all about the income that we're making and not, how good your credit is. And, I see a lot of parents are like, you need to get out of college and get a job and you want to make the best income, but what about credit? You need good credit. What about their credit? It's never focused on how's your credit. Let me look at your credit. Let me open up a credit card in your name while you're in college and, You're not going to use it, but I'll use it and I'll teach you how to use it, you know, effectively. So when you do get out of college, you're already set. You're not down here. You'll be up here and ready to explore life. You know, that's how it should be. So that's what I want to work on, is to, you know, help just even on the college level, in our communities, just help them start credit, like start their credit and start, you know, building their funds and getting life insurance that we don't ever talk about. You know, a lot of our communities don't talk about life insurance, and that's a part of financial literacy as well, because when our loved ones die, a lot of us are left with a lot of debt to incur, you know, and then children are left to take care of that debt, and it just keeps getting passed down. So, you know, I feel like life insurance should be also a part of financial literacy, and it's not a separate entity. You know what I mean? So, and speaking on life insurance, there is something called infinite banking, or using your own, or you being your own bank account, basically.
Yeah, I've heard about that a lot. Talk about that.
So basically what it is you're going to open up a whole life insurance plan. And basically, instead of using your savings account and a 401k, you're going to put all of your money into a whole life insurance plan. And what that does is you can borrow from that, from yourself, use yourself as your own bank, borrow from that, use it for business. So I'm borrowing from myself to use on my business, and my business doesn't have to pay any interest on that or any tax on that loan. So I can either pay it back or not. But the good thing about that is when I borrow from that whole life insurance plan, I'm still getting compound interest as well as dividends on that money that I borrowed from. So your account is still growing while that money is borrowed, and you're utilizing it for your business that you wanted to open, or that business that you needed the money for, the funds for, to get whatever equipment that you needed. And then when you have enough cash flow in that business, you can either pay it back or not. It's your money. You're your own bank. You're using your insurance as your own bank.
Yeah, facts. Now, you know, it's funny. I just had that conversation with my daughter last night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that conversation, because I have a Gerber life insurance for them since they was little. But now she'll be 22. She just turned 22. And when you turn 22, they changed the policy, right? So now, you know, I took care of it for, you know, since they was little. But now that they're 22, it talks about in there kind of converting it, and talked about whole life. And I just explained that whole situation to her. I said, we're going to change this to whole life. Then you can accrue money, and then you can utilize that money later on in life. She's like, yeah, Dad, this is for you, man. I told her what's yo, and I said, that letter's for me. You know, yeah, Dad, this is for you, man. I said, yeah. I said, I'll call the insurance company. We'll go over that. Because I did that when I was young, like 19, 20 years old. I had a policy like that, man. So I just explained that to my 22-year-old last night, boy.
Yeah. And a lot of us don't know about it.
Yeah, look at me. There said,
right.
I mean, I have some things set up too, but I'm just like, wow, you know, I never thought about it like that. But you know, I do have some things in place. You know, especially being a single mom, you have to have things in place for your kids.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I recommend stop using it a savings account. Stop using 401k. It's trash, in my opinion.
I put all my money in. I spread it. Crypto.
You gotta spread it.
Yeah.
And IRAs, and you know, CDs, and whole life insurance. Now, the rich been using whole life insurance from the beginning of time, but of course, that's something else that we don't know about because it was never taught. It's not taught to us in our schools or by our parents because they don't know. So, you know, all these things that can make you money, and without spending your own money, is just crazy.
Yeah, it's invaluable.
The amount of things that you can do to leverage, you know, your credit, and to leverage things that should be awarded to us or afforded to us, but it's not because we're not taught. It's like such a big secret, but you have to go learn it and, you know, get it on your own. Start reading and researching, and you know, I mean, you can have anything you want in this world, whatever lifestyle you want to live. You know, you can do it, definitely. So
bring it back. Yeah, so talk about your ebooks.
Yeah.
Talk about the ebooks.
I have 4 ebooks.
Okay.
One is the DIY credit repair book. Another one is the business funding and credit book. I have a secret lenders list book, and also how to start an LLC.
Okay.
Where can we get those books?
Those you can go on Instagram, on my Instagram page, which is Creating Time Freedom. You can go through there. They have a link there on the shop. It says shop on that page.
What's your handle? What's your Instagram handle?
Creating Time Freedom. Creating Time Freedom. That's CREATING, time, and then freedom.
Okay.
Okay. And then also have a Shopify store. That's Creating Time Freedom .shopify or /Shopify. And yeah, those are the two platforms that I have the ebooks on. Or you can just email me directly, and I will get those ebooks to you via email or whatever. But those are the two links that you can, once you pay for it, it'll directly download into your to your email, so you'll get them right away. The secret lenders list is a good one because it gives you, basically it has all, like, a lot of different credit cards, and it tells you which credit bureaus that they look into, which credit bureaus that they're going to tap into when you apply for those credit cards. So you already know, all right, they're going to look at TransUnion, so I need to have my TransUnion in place, and also tells you the score that you need to actually qualify for those credit cards as well.
Wow.
So
nice.
Yeah.
Is it also true too when they were saying, I've heard somebody was saying something about the trick with applying for these business credit cards is doing it after, because of the algorithm, doing it at 12 o'clock at night because of the way the algorithm is set up, because there's not a live person approving these applications, that when you do it at 12 midnight, it kind of expedites, or there's a much higher chance at you getting that business.
That is absolutely true. That is absolutely true. There's also ways that you can get 3 or 4 credit cards with one inquiry, and that's by setting up. Basically, I'm about to give y'all some good stuff right here, man.
It's all good stuff. I'm about to.
You watch Dinner with the Coaches.
Yeah.
We got the juice.
You've been giving us good stuff since 7 o'clock.
Guys, make sure you support her. Make sure you support her. Go to her Instagram and get those ebooks. She's giving some good stuff. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Man, so I'm gonna give y'all this one. So what you do is you go to Bank of America or American Express if you have American Express. If you want American Express, what you do is you can open up Bank of America, Amex, and say Chase, all at the same time. You want to fill in all your information all at one time and get all the way to the step where it says submit application. You want to submit all those applications back to back, in less than 30 seconds. All those and it has to be after after midnight, because the computer will catch it. So you want to submit your applications all at one time, back to back, and it's only going to give you one inquiry because it went so quick. So you want to have different tabs open or different computers if you want to, and hit submit on all of those applications back to back, and in a couple of seconds or less, and it'll only give you one inquiry. Yeah.
Now, is that after you're at a certain? Is that at a certain tier that you do that, or can you do that at? Because I know they talk. I've heard a lot about different tiers, being on different credit tiers. So should you do that at certain
business
tiers?
Credit. That's business credit. That was for personal credit. Now business credit, is a whole different monster. They do have different tiers on business credit. Like I was saying, it's the net 30 accounts, the net 60 accounts, and stuff like that. Now we didn't really dive into business credit today a lot. I've been talking a lot on personal credit, because business credit is a whole nother monster within itself. So
we need to do a part 2 then with her. Then this is that's a whole part 2. There's a lot of information that wow, I'm enjoying this. But I'm sorry, go ahead. We're gonna have you come back for part 2.
All right, we can do that. So another thing is, if you have Apple, how many have iPhones?
I have Apple iPhones? Everything.
Okay. So on the Apple, you can get an Apple card, right? An Apple credit card.
Yeah.
Right. So there's also a way that you can get an Apple credit card without getting an inquiry whatsoever on your Apple on
Really?
your
Wow.
Yep.
How's that?
Y'all want that
Do
too?
tell.
Dang.
Do tell. Do
We
tell.
gonna have to pay for that information.
Do tell. Y'all look, y'all audience. This is why you purchase her ebooks. She's giving
Wow, man, this is good.
So what you do is you of course you go on your phone, sign up for Apple, sign up put all your information in, your whatever they ask for. When you get to the page that gives you the pre-approval to say, hey, you're approved for $4,000. Okay, and that's a pre-approval. It says you're pre-approved for $4,000. Once you get there, you want to go to TransUnion, because TransUnion is what Apple uses to pull credit from. You want to go to TransUnion.
Oh, I think I've heard this. Yeah.
And freeze that account, and then go back and then submit it. Submit that application, and then they'll approve it. And then once it's approved, you can go back and unfreeze your TransUnion account, and then that's how you get that with no inquiry at all. The Apple Card.
Yeah, I think I've heard.
There's a lot of different things. Yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do to not get inquiries on your credit when you're applying for a credit card. So I mean, it's easy breezy. But you just gotta really start studying this stuff and really start learning on your own and watching. I mean, there's free stuff on YouTube that you can watch. One in particular, one of my colleagues, his name is the Credit Plug. He has information on there for days, like amazing information. I don't even know why he doesn't even charge for this stuff, but YouTube credit. His name is the Credit Plug. It's an African American gentleman. He gives out vital information, like what loans to apply for without having to, have a PG as far as business loans, what loans to apply for with your personal credit. I mean, vital information. So I do recommend, just going on YouTube and start studying this stuff on your own, and so we don't have to go through poverty. We don't have to be in poverty anymore. We can live the life that we deserve to live without having to live paycheck to paycheck, because that's dead. That is dead.
For real.
For
real.
Yeah, man.
Especially in this day and time.
Yeah, I think we do a part two, because we really can kind of dig in and dive into the business side of it, and then the business, the LLC portion, and then how to parlay those two to get the most benefit, based upon what's legally out there, right? We're not talking about nothing that's illegal. We're not even talking about, laws and nothing like that in terms of, taxes and nothing. I mean, this is just regular, everyday business information that increases our business acumen to make sure that we're getting the best bang for our buck, because we're out there doing business. You know what I mean? It's just all these little things are not available to us as readily as it is to, other individuals,
Right.
There's some other stuff we haven't tapped into that I wanted her to go in depth in part two, and that is the CPN numbers. So I definitely, in our part two, for those of you that will be watching us, we are going to go more in depth with part two. And we're going to discuss all the things that Thomas just said, along with Darneece. And we're going to discuss some other things, because being in business, the more knowledge is power, and the more knowledge we have, and we combine that with wisdom, we can do some amazing things. We don't have to use our money to build our business. We
Absolutely.
are just, there is some ways to use OPMs, other people's money to build. Yes.
Yep. That's the only way. That's the only way.
Yeah. Ain't that a fact, man? Ain't that a fact?
That's the only way to do it.
Well, hey, look, it's almost at the top of the hour, so why don't you go ahead and let people know how to get in contact with you, give them all your vitals, all your information, and then we're definitely gonna have you back, because this was very informative, boy. I got 2 pages of notes here, boy.
You got it color coordinated and everything. You got it color coordinated.
Oh yeah. I don't play when it comes to notes, boy.
Thomas the note taker. That's gonna be your new nickname, Thomas the note taker.
That's it.
I
No
was once
takers or money
told.
makers.
Yeah, I was once told the shortest pencil is longer than the longest memory. Write it down.
Write it down. That's it. That's it. But
Write it down.
as
So go
far
ahead,
as
D.
where you can reach me, of course, Instagram, Creating Time Freedom. Facebook is Creating Time Freedom or Darneece Barber. Also, this month for Leo season, shout out to all the Leos. I'm running a special for my credit repair. So I'm
Okay.
doing. I usually don't do payments, but now you can do $250 bi-weekly for 3 months, and I will, repair your credit for you. And I also have a special for like you can bring 2 people in, and both of you, you and the spouse can get your credit repaired for $300 bi-weekly. So I'm running that special all month. So definitely inbox me if you want to take advantage of that. Or if you want to do it on your own, you can purchase the ebooks through Instagram or Shopify, and you can do it. You can always do it yourself. Credit repair. That's a very detailed book because I did take my time and I wrote everything down that I know. I even give you letters in there that you can use to send out for your disputes in that book as well. So it has all the letters you will need, all the laws and topics you would need to do it yourself as well. But you don't have the time to do that, you can always come to me and I'll be happy to walk you through that and do it, do everything for you. So yeah.
That's
Now, I
awesome.
do have one other question before we end. How long, for the average person that's watching that may want to know, how long does it take for you as a service provider to correct someone's credit? How long do you think it'll take? What is the average time it takes to repair someone's
The
credit?
average time is 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
The average time. If anybody does it sooner than that, I mean, there's ways, but there's not. I don't think there's illegal ways to do it and there's a legal way to do it. The legal way to do it, it'll take 3 to 6 months if you're sending the letters out as you're supposed to the right way, dispute letters and all that stuff. So, and also it depends on the person's credit and how much they have,
Gotcha.
how much debt they have. Like I said, you're only sending 5 at a time. So if they have 15 collections, it's going to take a little longer because we have to do different rounds of credit. A person that only has 3 collections is going to take shorter time because we only may need to do 1 round and you're done, and start adding positives to your account and stuff like that. So, yeah, along with the negatives taken off, you want to add positives because, people remove stuff and then they don't add on to it. So, that's a problem as well. So,
Great.
Yep.
Awesome. Well, hey D, here at Dinner with the Coaches, we actually do coach, right? So I got a question. Is it okay if I coach you real quick?
Yes, absolutely.
Now we only have a couple of minutes, so I'm not going to be long, but we'll do a part 2 when you come back. So just a quick question. What do you feel is holding you back from creating your own YouTube channel?
Fear of, I don't like this, the whole camera thing.
Woo!
It's me stepping outside of my comfort zone. Like this right here is out of my comfort zone. I'm completely out of my comfort zone right now. My lips dry. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Limiting belief.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's stepping out of my comfort zone and it's going out there and doing it. Like that's the reason why I haven't created my own mentorship and other things.
Yeah.
Just fear getting in the way. That's all.
Okay. Now I took a lot of notes, and that was one of the notes that I took down was because if you listen to yourself, you're just as knowledgeable as everybody else.
Yes.
But you're okay with promoting somebody else and not yourself, right? Right. So right there, we have some limiting challenges there, and from a coaching perspective, that's when Nadir and I come in, and we can help coach you in that particular area because it's not, the knowledge is not questionable, right? That's not in question, right? But what we do here at Dinner with the Coaches, we kind of break up the foundation of what got you here, break that foundation up. We go a little bit deeper, right? We deal with some things, right? We get those things out in the open, and then we help slowly pour a new foundation. So now you can become the individual that you was already ordained to become. because we separate your gifts versus your talents, right? There's certain things that you do well, but there's certain things that you're gifted in. So it's
Right.
a little bit different, right?
Right.
So you coming on the show, hey, great job, because I know it was a stretch for you. No, I know it was a stretch for you, right? So that's why when we started, I just let you go because you kind of want to have your hat down, you want to have your head down a little bit, just read, and then you got a little bit more comfortable, and then you was okay, just naturally, right? So those are the little things that we help coach you in, so you could be in a position to stand there firm and give this information that you know. It's not the information because you're good with the information. It's the presentation. It's being comfortable with being that person in the limelight.
Yeah,
being
that's exactly
in the spotlight. See, that's where coaching comes in to get you comfortable. But once we kind of go back, deal with some things, and then we do a forward vision focus, right? Because that's what coaching is, right? A future focused, goal oriented action, right? Future focus, right? But we'll just deal with some other things that you kind of, set in stone, like you dug your feet in because of what somebody else said. See, has nothing to do with who you are.
Right.
But unfortunately, we live out that character.
Yeah.
Right. So the true essence of who you are is different than what they said about you. Right. I'm not gonna get too deep because we're ready at the top of the hour. It's different, right?
Yeah.
But that's where coaching comes in, right? Just to kind of help you, walk with you, making sure that you feel that you're comfortable moving, right? Just a little stretch, just a little pull, and then we support you inside of there. Because that support is necessary, because when you're not so sure, when you get a little wobbly, now you have somebody to hold on to keep you sturdy until you start to build that momentum, you start to rebuild that foundation to realize, guess what? You are enough. You are enough. No matter what they said about you, you are enough. Anyway, that's what we do at Dinner with the Coaches.
Yes.
I love
Absolutely.
it. I love it. Well,
and most people don't understand is that most people don't understand that your gifts help you become better at your skill. When you can identify those key things, those core things that are in your life that make up who you are, then you showing up, there's no need for fear because you show up differently. Because once you've identified and you are aware of the person that you are, because the more aware you are, the more aware of the person that you are, then whatever skill set you have is magnified.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
But hey, it was a pleasure having you. You're dynamic in terms of an individual and what and information. I mean, I'm hoping a lot of people got a lot of good information. I took a lot of notes, and this is only the first part of it. So hey, we gonna let you close out. Let them know, how to contact you once again. Then Nadira, you kind of bring us on home. Appreciate you.
All right. Once again, you can contact me at Creating Time Freedom. That's through Instagram. Also TikTok. I forgot about TikTok. TikTok. Facebook is Darneece Barber. And those are my three main handles right there. Also, you can text at 202-914-9906. And text if you want the ebooks. Or if you want to start credit repair, you can also text me on that number, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.
Awesome.
Right.
You heard it from our amazing guest, Darneece Barber. She has given us a boatload of information. If you are just tuning in, you've got to go back and hit replay and watch from the beginning. And she gave out some amazing nuggets. If this is your first time watching, let us know where you're watching from. Put in the comments and let us know what state you're watching from. I noticed that you have a 202 area code, so that must mean you're from DC.
Yeah. Yep.
DC. I know I'm a Jersey girl, so I know those area codes. I'm a northerner, so I know those area codes. Awesome, amazing. So Darneece can help you no matter what state you're in. I'm sure she has everything that she's equipped with, everything that you need, no matter what state you're in. If you need help with credit repair, so reach out, support. She's giving us a lot of information. Support her. Get her ebooks on Instagram at Creating Time Freedom. And Thomas and I are so excited that you continue to join us each and every Sunday at 7 p.m. We enjoy your support. We love each and every one of you. And like Thomas said, if you need coaching and you want Thomas and I to help you get yourself to where you need to be in your business, make sure you send us an inbox at the @ Dinner with the Coaches, and we'll love to get back at you. Don't forget, if you're looking for a visionary coach, we can't forget our awesome Tailor Your Dreams. Tailor Your Dreams with Thomas Taylor. Make sure you go to his website. He's got an amazing site set up where you can get information on how to get your vision intact. He's really good with helping you with your limiting beliefs. So I'm telling you, Thomas is the bomb when it comes to helping you with limiting belief. So, and as always, you can always reach me at nadiralewis.com. I am your coach. I help people take their life experiences and turn them into life lessons. Build survival guides for the people that are coming alongside that are facing the same challenges that you are facing. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thomas, did you want to say anything else before we close out?
Nah. Great job. Amazing. This was great. Dear, you did an awesome job for your first time, pretty much being on camera, out of your comfort zone. Great job.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Part 2. We look forward to part 2 with Darneece Barber, and we'll see you next week. Have an amazing weekend, guys.
I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord that I wake again. I wake again. I pray the Lord that I wake again.